Can the personal life of a philosopher tarnish the value of their philosophical contributions? This question has been asked about many great thinkers, but perhaps none more so than Michel Foucault. We've covered Foucault and his power and knowledge in a previous episode, but as we delve into this segment of Foucault's life, a dichotomy emerges. On one hand, he was a brilliant philosopher who challenged the status quo, breathed new life into the study of power, knowledge and discipline, and left an indelible mark on the world of philosophy. On the other hand, he was a man whose personal life was riddled with controversy, particularly surrounding his relationships with underage boys. These actions, far from the societal norms, have led to a questioning of his personal morality. This dichotomy between the personal and the philosophical prompts us to ask, can we separate the philosopher from the man? Can we appreciate the intellectual contributions of Foucault without endorsing his personal choices? With such a clouded personal life, can we still appreciate Foucault's philosophical contributions? Born in 1926, Michel Foucault would grow up to be one of the most influential philosophers of the 20th century. But the path to influence was no linear journey. Born in the small French town of Poitiers, Foucault was the second of 3 children in a prosperous and socially conservative upper-middle-class family. His father, a successful surgeon, hoped Michel would follow in his footsteps. But the young Foucault had different plans. Foucault struggled with mental health issues from a young age, leading to a suicide attempt during his adolescence. His academic career started with a rocky path, derailed by bouts of depression. It was only after he discovered philosophy that Foucault found his calling. In the mid-20th century, Foucault moved to Sweden, Poland and later Germany, pursuing academic opportunities and immersing himself in the local cultures. He was living an openly gay lifestyle, a bold move during a time when homosexuality was still largely stigmatized. The 1970s would prove to be a transformational period for Foucault. He traveled to the United States and Tunisia, teaching and writing extensively on power, knowledge, and the mechanisms of social control. He was becoming a recognized figure in the world of philosophy, but it was also during this time that controversial aspects of his personal life began to surface. Foucault's sexual preferences and practices, particularly his relationships with underage boys, stirred up significant controversy. Critics argue these acts were morally reprehensible, casting a shadow over his philosophical contributions. His defenders, however, contend that his personal life and his professional work should be evaluated separately. In 1984, Foucault died from AIDS-related complications, one of the first high-profile Frenchmen to succumb to the disease. His death was a loss to the world of philosophy, but it did not put an end to the controversies surrounding his life. Foucault's life was a complex tapestry, rife with controversy and contradiction. But what about his philosophical contributions? Foucault's work spans a broad range of topics, from power and knowledge to sexuality and madness. This French philosopher's theories have not only shaped the course of academic thought, but have also found resonance in our everyday lives. To begin with, let's delve into his ideas on power and knowledge. Foucault posited that power is not merely a tool held by one entity over another, but rather it is a network that permeates society. He claimed that power and knowledge are inextricably linked, with knowledge being constructed by those in power to maintain their authority. This perspective, known as power knowledge, has deeply influenced fields such as sociology, political science and cultural studies. Next, we turn to his work on sexuality. Foucault challenged the traditional notion of sexuality as a natural biological urge. Instead, he argued that our understanding of sexuality is a social construct, defined by societal norms and power structures. His exploration of the history of sexuality has paved the way for modern discourses on gender and sexuality, including the rise of queer theory. Foucault's exploration of madness, too, is worth noting. He critiqued the concept of madness as a medical condition, instead suggesting that it is a social construct, often used to marginalize those who do not conform to societal norms. His work on madness has profoundly influenced the field of psychology, prompting a re-evaluation of how we perceive and treat mental illness. Lastly, His concept of the panopticon, a metaphorical representation of surveillance in society, has become all the more relevant in this digital age, where privacy is increasingly elusive. These are just a few examples of the depth and breadth of Foucault's philosophical contributions. His theories have questioned our understanding of the world and prompted us to scrutinize the power structures that shape our lives. Foucault's work has undeniably left a lasting impact on the world of philosophy. But how does this reconcile with the controversies of his personal life? This question is one that continues to spark debate, and we will explore this further in the next segment. Foucault's legacy is a topic of heated debate, with some praising his philosophical contributions while others condemn his personal morality. This dichotomy is not unique to Foucault. It echoes the age-old question about the relationship between an artist's life and their work. On one side of the debate, we find those who laud Foucault's philosophical contributions. They argue that his ideas about power, knowledge, and the self have transformed our understanding of society and the individual. These supporters often maintain that Foucault's personal life, however controversial, should not detract from the significance of his philosophical insights. They believe in the separation of the thinker from their thoughts, the artist from their art. On the other hand, there are those who vehemently condemn Foucault's personal morality. They point to his sexual relationships with underage boys as evidence of a deeply flawed character. For these critics, Foucault's personal actions cast a shadow over his philosophical contributions, tainting them with the stain of immorality. They argue that we cannot and should not separate a person's actions from their work, especially when those actions involve exploitation and harm. The debate over Foucault's legacy, then, is a complex and multifaceted one. It raises challenging questions about the relationship between personal morality and intellectual contribution. Can we appreciate the insights of a thinker while condemning their personal actions? Is it possible or even desirable to separate the two? Or does the personal inevitably and irrevocably infiltrate the philosophical? These are not easy questions to answer, and opinions vary widely. What is clear, however, is that Foucault's legacy is as complex and controversial as the man himself. His philosophical contributions have undeniably left a lasting impact on our understanding of society and the self. Yet his personal actions have also left a lasting impact, one that continues to provoke heated debate and controversy. The dichotomy of Michel Foucault's life and work continues to spark debate. The question remains, can we separate a philosopher's personal life from their work, and should we? That's the question that each of us must answer for ourselves. As always, we appreciate you joining us for another episode of Philosophical Flicks. If you have not done so, please hit the like button and notification bell to receive notifications on new videos. And if you find value in the content that we provide, please consider subscribing to the channel so that we may continue to engage with you and the rest of the philosophical community out there. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.